Hi there. This is Simply Debbie Sue. I hope that you're having a good day. Um, it's afternoon right now, and I'm having my cup of tea, and it's actually really, really late for me to be drinking tea. I'm usually drinking it probably kind of mid morning. I'm kind of strange. Most people get up, and first thing they want to do is come in and start their coffee pot or, have their tea early in the morning. I have to get up and get my faculties about me. In the morning, I can't just come in and, you know, brew my tea or whatever. Now, my husband, he's different. He has to come in and start his coffee pot right away and, get at least one cup of coffee in before he does anything, come back and, get 2 or 3 more cups of coffee in. But he does have to have his coffee first thing in the morning. And he'll ask me, he said, "Do you want me to get your tea pot, going?" And I'll say, "No, I've got to get my faculties together before, I have tea." So usually it's maybe 9 or 10 o'clock is when I like to have my tea. And then I like to enjoy it. I don't like to be rushed, you know, having my tea. So the reason I'm having it so late today, and I'll usually only have one cup of tea in the day anyway. I'm late today having my tea. We got up this morning and he wanted to go get some wood. He's getting an early start on getting his wood for the following winter, which is smart. So he found a place that's some people that's selling some wood, and we have a heat pump, but we also have a wood stove, and we try to save on electricity because electricity is so expensive, and the power bill and everything is just ridiculous. So we try to use our wooden coal stove as much in the wintertime as possible. And we will use the heat pump occasionally. But, like I said, we're trying to get started on getting wood in here and some coal early this year and get that out of the way. So I rode with him this morning to the place where he has got his wood for the last 2 times. And but I didn't want to, hurry up and drink my tea and everything. I like to take my time, enjoy my tea, read a few chapters of a book. Today I'm reading in my Bible. And so I'm enjoying my tea this morning. I've got my pretty teacup and saucer this morning. I use this a lot of times. So let you see, it's pretty roses. And so I'm enjoying my tea and my pretty teacup and saucer. And I'm reading, like I said, I'm reading some scripture this morning, or it's not this morning, it's afternoon. So I just happen to turn my Bible open, and I just randomly sometimes read just where my Bible falls open, and it actually fell open to Psalms, and which I love to read in Psalms anyway. So Psalms 27, it says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is my strength, the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" I've always loved Psalms 27, especially those verses. It's brought me so much peace and comfort throughout the years. This these verses, the phrase "the Lord is my light and my salvation," it expresses trust in God, and that God is a source of protection and guidance. These verses emphasizes that God is our light, and there's no need for us to fear. He provides our strength and our safety, in our times of trouble, and it reassures us, that if we're believers in God, that He's a refuge and He's a deliverer. And anytime there's darkness and adversary, God's going to be there with us. That, like I said, that has always brought me comfort. We've all been through times in life. We have been afraid. We're human beings, and it's hard for us not to feel fear in life and in situations that we go through. I know I've been through many, many situations in my life when I've been afraid, and I needed strength, and there have been a lot of times in life that the Lord has led me to these verses, and that has gave me strength in my times of trouble, and I have felt peace come over me when I've read these verses, and I know that it was God that led me to these verses, and I thank Him, for His strength and for salvation. So I read these today because I have been going through some times here lately, some situations that I needed these verses. So I thank, God for His word and for always, knowing what I need. And His word has been a strength to me, and I really thank Him for His word. So today, instead of reading, a few chapters in one of my books or anything, I got this, I got the Bible out, and I think He knew exactly what I needed, and I do thank Him for that. So I just want to share that with you today. I was looking out the window also. It's really a beautiful day today. We have had so many storms lately, and the wind's blowing up today, but the sun's out so beautiful. So, this is the day the Lord has made, and I'm glad in it. I don't know what, tonight may bring. I don't know what tomorrow may bring, but I'm glad and I'm blessed for today. So I just want to share that with you today. I was looking over at another teacup I have. It's over here on my table. I'll just share it with you. This teacup, I got it at a flea market a couple weeks ago. It's a milk glass, and milk glass is highly collectible, and it's just beautiful. I collect teacups, and if I can find the saucer with it, that's just an extra bonus. And I got this for $1 for both of them, and I just thought that was the greatest deal that I got at the flea market. And this is Anchor. I think it's, let me see. Yeah, it's Anchor Hawking. It said it's Anchor Hawking on it, and I really didn't know that until I got it home and looked. I just know that I liked it, and I knew that this was milk glass. And I looked this up, and it was made in the 1950s, and it says it's highly collectible. The milk glass is, but the Anchor Hawking is. I'm not into buying and selling as far as all that, but it says, I'd seen these on eBay and different places after, looking it up, that people, are selling these just for this teacup and saucer, $20 a set. Some are more than that. But, like I said, I'm not into all that buying and selling. I just like this because I collect teacups, whether they're old or new. I actually got the one I'm drinking in now at a flea market. I think I paid $2 or $3 for it. If it's pretty and I like it, I'll bring it home. So I just wanted to share that with you as well. So today I woke up. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday. It was about an hour and a half away, so that was a good travel. So I was a little bit tired today from my doctor's appointment. I woke up with kind of a scratchy throat. It feels like, maybe somebody who's got allergies, but I don't have allergies. So I don't know. It feels like maybe sinus drainage or something like that. But it's a shame that you have to travel an hour and a half, 2 hours away for doctor's appointments. I just live in a little rural community. I call it the boonies. We have just a few doctors, and mostly nurse practitioners is what we have. And we have a couple cardiologists and maybe one or two pulmonologists. And I see those. But as far as a urologist, gastroenterologist, anything like that, we have to travel at least an hour or more away. And so my other specialist, like my urologist I had to go to yesterday, is about over an hour away. My gastrologist is a little over an hour away. Then I have another nephrologist is like an hour away, and I have another specialist is 4 hours away, which I'll be seeing later in the year. So it's just a shame that our rural communities, we don't have access to specialists, and specialists don't want to come to the rural communities. I guess because they're not paid well. And it's just a shame. I don't want to get off on that today because I have a lot I can say about that. And I probably will at some point in time come back to this topic. But I just don't feel like it today. But like I said, I woke up with more of a scratchy throat today. I do have just a normal hoarse voice. That is my normal speaking voice, in case anybody thinks that I have a cold or have been sick. No, I do have a normal hoarse sounding voice. I've had it all my life. I was born with it. I do remember when I was young, maybe a teenager or something, that a lot of people that didn't know me, that wasn't my family or close friends, somebody I may have met for the first time. And it's still to this day that happens. People will say, "Have you been sick?" And I'll say, "No, this is my normal speaking voice." And I'm you would think I would be getting used to it, but sometimes it still bothers me, that, but, I guess in some ways getting used to it. But that's just my normal speaking voice. I guess I was born with it. I don't know. That's just me. So that's just the way it is. I don't have a whole lot to talk about today. I guess I'm just rambling on. Maybe I should have named my channel Rambling On with Debbie Sue, instead of simply Debbie Sue. But I am just a simple person, just a simple country person, and I hope you'll follow along with me. Maybe comment sometime and let me know that you're out there. So that's all I have for today. This is just simply Debbie Sue. Just join me when you can.